All right, what's up, boys? So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I design my Ableton templates. So basically, when I put my motherboard back in my computer, or I swapped it out, for some reason it deleted all my templates and stuff. So I figured might as well just remake them on video, so that way you can have an idea of sort of how I go about that. So yeah, let's get into it. Basically, first thing I do is I just set up like a drum channel. So I'm just gonna do that. For some reason, I've had it green for like a really long time. So that's just what I'm gonna do. And then I'm just gonna call it kick snare. And then I'll just be able to drag, you know, my kick sample, snare sample. I'll add a couple more audio just in case I want some more stuff in here. So that's kind of that. And then the next group I do is the perks group. So what I'm doing to group these, so I'll just take the MIDI track again. So I do Control J, and then that creates a group. And then from there, I can just add like audio MIDI. If I want to pull up audio, Control T, that'll give me an audio track. And then if I want to change the color, then I'll just pick the main group and then go assign track color to group tracks and clips. So I just do that. And then it's really easy to just make these groups. So it depends on the project, but sometimes I will put my groups together like that. But it really depends. So I don't do it automatically. I leave them separate. And then depending on the project, I'll test out whether I want it to be processed, because I do put some effects on the bus here. Like usually what I'll have is a glue compressor. I'll usually have a glue compressor. So that's usually my main like bus processing. And then I might have like a clipper. So we can use like the Kilohearts one. So that's usually my like general like group processing for kick and snare. And then I might have like a transient shaper after the compressor, something like that. But yeah, I mean, you can also clip it directly in the transient shaper. So this can become unnecessary, but kind of depends. Can be better to do it outside. I might even use like K-clip as a bus processor. Or yeah, sure. I mean, that's kind of that. For the drums, I keep it fairly simple. And then I'm just gonna delete these. I'm not gonna use these. And then just get some more MIDIs that I can group. So next up, I'll just group all of these, and then I'll go shift all of them and then Control J. So that gives me like a giant group. Okay, that's not really what I wanted to do. So, but yeah, anyways, so this is my giant side chain group. So I just call it side chain. And then for right now, I'm using compactor. So I'm just gonna put a compactor on this input. So this is a free effects that you can get from Kilohearts on their website. It's called Compactor. It's very good. I'm still going to test out a few different methods because this came out, I believe it came out last summer. I'm not entirely sure. I don't super remember when it came out, but ever since it came out, I've been trying it out, just using it. So far, I like it, but I haven't really put it up against other sidechain methods just yet. So I'm going to be doing a video on that a little bit later. That'll be coming in the next probably couple of weeks. Don't know when it's going to be up, but I still have to record it. I'm going to go through about like 4 different sidechain plugins and just pick the one that I like the most and then start using that. And if it ends up being compactor still, then still going to be that. But yeah, anyways, to set it up, you just want to put it on input, and then you go for this, we can just go kick snare. That's what I usually do. And then it'll take the signal from anything that plays in the kick snare and duck our sound to that through compactor, and then you can adjust the attack in the release. Usually I'll put the release at like 15, so usually like that. And then there's different modes. I think ISP so far is the best, but you can just experiment with all of those. If you hover over them, it's going to explain to you exactly what they do. I'm not going to get into that because it's not like a sidechain specific video, but yeah, if you're curious about it, website, Kilohearts, or you can just read it from the plugin itself. Next group I usually do is going to be bass. So here, I'm just going to load the plugins I'm most likely to use. So first up, Serum 2. There's an update. I'm not going to do that right now. Next up, Phaseplant, my beloved baby. Yeah, so that's pulled up. And then I'll put it pigments. I'm not using pigments too much right now, but let's say that I was. It's there. And then one more. I did an audio track. That's not what I want. Oh, to do like a new MIDI, Control Shift T. That's what's going to get you a new MIDI. And then how I search, Control F, Command F if you're on Mac, or command anything. Okay, whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna figure that out later. I think my splice just doesn't open automatically So that way you just have all your instruments loaded as soon as you start a session. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could go even deeper and already have like an EQ8, and I don't know, like right now I really want to do a lot of work with thermal and infiltrator. So close, boom. Like I really want to spend some time learning these two. I could just go like this, group them, turn it off, and just copy paste them across, you know, all the plugins. And that's kind of that. And then depending on the track, I might have another instance of compactor. Say I wanted to do something different with the sidechain for the bass versus the entire group. That might be something I do. And then next up, I'm gonna do a sub track. So this is gonna be where I put all of my subs. So usually I do my subs with Serum. So that's just what I'm gonna put there. And then I'm definitely gonna put another instance of compactor. Usually process my drums, or my sub a little bit differently than I do everything else, especially in the sidechain department. I do also, you'll notice, keep the same sub that I used from the patch quite consistently. So right now, the way I'm producing the subgroup, generally I don't have one, but I will make it in this template just in case I do end up using it. So yeah, for subs, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Next up, I have a little list of stuff just so I don't forget. So yeah, next up, synths, effects, atmosphere, Vox, and Vox 2. So yeah, we can do those pretty quickly. Just gonna do some more like MIDI and then group those. So like next group, ooh, yeah, this is kind of what's annoying about doing it this way. Oh, it might be easier to go like this, but then it goes in the same group. Ableton is very good, but there's like some little things like this that can just kind of be annoying. Actually, no, that works. Yeah, you can just take all these, put them under, and then you can just boom. Wait, not boom. Wait, but now it still goes outside. Okay, whatever. It might be easier if I just take these two and then put them up like that. Yeah, it is. Okay, great. Perfect. Yeah, it's not like the worst thing to do, but it is kind of annoying to do like groups within groups sometimes. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, anyways, so now we're on synths. So pretty straightforward. This is usually where I'm gonna put a lot of my intro stuff. So what do I use for intros? Generally, it's gonna be Analog Lab. That's usually going to be a big one. Takes a bit to load, but that's all good. And then color, I'm just going to do it purple. I don't know. I don't really have a designated color necessarily for intros. So yeah, and I'm going to pull up a Serum 2 and I'm going to do a current just because I do, or current, I guess. I do want to learn this plugin more in depth. I know it came out like a while ago, but I didn't know it came out. And now I'm curious about it. You'll notice I've been testing a bunch of minimal audio plugins just to see sort of how I feel about them. So far, I think they're pretty good. I'm not a big fan of their UI though. That's kind of my thing right now. I can't really pull one up right now. I'll put another couple audio tracks just for good measure, and that's about it. Yeah, it's the synth group. I'll put a compactor also, because again, intros, I'm generally going to do different side chaining than drops. So yeah, you might be wondering like, okay, so you're adding a bunch of compactors anyways to these, like what's the point of having a big sidechain group? I just like to have options and I don't want to think too much about the options. So that's pretty much all it is. Next up, we're going to do effects. This one, I keep it super simple. I just put like a bunch of audio tracks. I'll keep a Serum because sometimes I do make risers with Serums. But generally I'll just freeze a patch and I'll just use that. But it can really depend on the project itself. Okay, subs are already yellow. I think I used to do effects yellow, but we'll just do them blue. Sure. Okay, so next up, atmosphere. This is all like, I mean, you can just call it background. So BG, atmosphere, background, doesn't really change too much. We can put another, I'll do a current. Since I want to use it more, I'm going to do a current. Again, I need to sign in Spice, all this stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll do 6 and another compactor. This is just the way that I design my templates. They are sort of redundant. I probably don't need all these extra compactors, but you know, I like to have everything built in, so I don't really have to think about it too much. And then we've just got a couple more channels to do, and then we're done. So I'm gonna do Vox 1. This is a super optional channel, but this is Vox 2. And the reason why I have 2 is this one is going to be sidechained and this one isn't. So realistically, you could call this one like pre-drop or whatever. I just call it Vox 2 just because that way I know that it's not getting sidechained at all. And so if I need to put quick vocals, I could even really put samples if I wanted to here. I didn't want them to be sidechained at all. I could easily put them in the Vox channel. And then for this, I mean, just delete audio track. I'm just going to put 3. I'm probably not going to use very many vocal samples of production. So yeah, just making sure here we covered everything. Effects. Yep, we did. Okay, perfect. I mean, that's pretty much the template. It's relatively simple to set up. I didn't do like all the setup for the different compactors, but you definitely should do that ahead of time. It just makes it easier for you. Realistically, you probably don't need actually, no, compactor is probably good in the background just so you can sidechain it super heavily. That's what I would recommend. Like anything like effects, backgrounds, or like stuff that's not super forward in the mix, I would definitely recommend to just heavy sidechain it. That way you just have no issues in your mix. But everything is just, I mean, there's always exceptions. That's the thing about teaching something like music production, especially in the bass music dubstep space, is like, man, there's always exceptions. Oh, I almost forgot to add a compactor to this. So this is not, I don't think this is super common practice, but this is something that I do where I do tend to sidechain at least to some degree. Like usually I'll have it at 50 and it depends on the track. So sometimes I'll have it at 50, sometimes 100, and some tracks 200, but it depends. It depends what sort of effect I want. And I might even like lower the mix, but keep the range at 200. Like it's, again, I just go with every project and I just try and take it as a new track. Obviously because it is, but because I think that just because something worked once doesn't mean it's always going to work. I mean, it's worth trying to stay consistent if you can across projects, just because that way you get, I mean, you just get consistency, and that can be very helpful when you're building an artist career. Last thing we can do, see, this is one thing that I haven't really understood about the update so far, how this works, because it feels like whenever I go like here, okay, it didn't reset. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like whenever I would do this, like change the key, it would reset depending on the channel. Yeah, there was just like one last thing that I forgot to say. So if you want to save a template, just go File, Save Live Set As Template, and then you say, I'm just going to write Tearout template. Not that it matters. So now it's saved. And then if I want to save live set as default, then File, go down here, and then okay, I think it's good. So yeah, now it's my default template. And if I want to find it, it's in my user library. So splice, user library, templates. I only have one. And then, yeah. So, but yeah, hopefully this was like helpful. Hopefully this gets you to work more efficiently and faster. I didn't really go into this, but like the reason why I make templates whenever I, inevitably do something weird to my PC and then it breaks is that I find it speeds up workflow. And to me, the cost isn't less creativity. It's actually more, just because I don't have to set up all these things every time. Some producers that you'll see, like pro producers, don't do this. And I think part of it is just when you're solely making money from production, tedious things like starting a song with literally nothing in it is not that big of a deal, because it's how you're making your money. But if you're anything like me, then this isn't your job. This is a hobby. Sure, if you want, you can't really afford to lose that time. So yeah, definitely recommend templates. They're going to speed up your work. I don't think they kill creativity. I think they help it. And yeah, just focus on doing other things, right? Because dude, if let's say I wanted to do a sound design session right now. Okay, I'm ready. I'm good to go, right? I can just generator, turn this on. I'm ready to go. That took 5 seconds versus, okay, let me set the, no, 5 seconds. No, just do it. Trust me. It's going to help you. It's going to make you a lot faster at beginning ideas, finishing ideas. It's going to keep your projects a lot more organized, even though mine are still a mess, even with this, but that's okay. I'll try and figure out some ways to clean my stuff up and pass the knowledge on whenever I do find it. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next